Hi, I'm Craig, and today we're going to talk about spelling. We're going to talk about spelling in English. I'm going to give you some rules. I'm going to give you some rules to use. These rules have exceptions, so they are not 100%. They're not 100% accurate. They will not work 100% of the time, but they are general rules that you can use. I'm going to start with a rule about the letters I and E. And there is a rhyme that is I before E except after C, unless pronounced A, like in neighbour or way. So I'm going to write that down. So I before E except after C, unless pronounced A, like in neighbour or way. And now I will give you some examples. The first examples I will give you are these two words here, neighbour and way. The rule says I before E, so that's wrong. So I is after E. Okay, I before E, but that word, that is wrong. Okay, unless pronounced A, like in neighbour or way. So these are exceptions because of the pronunciation. Neighbour, way. I will start with the word believe. Believe. I before E. Friend. I before E. Lie. Again, I before E. Review or review. I before E. Thief. I before E. But if those letters come after, a C, after the letter C, here we have a C. And we have receive. Okay? So it's I before E, but if it's after the letter C, they change. It's E, then I. Deceive. There's a C, so after the C, it's E, then I. And receipt. There is a C, so after the C, the E and the I are reversed. It's I before E except after C. So that is I before E except after C, unless pronounced A, like in neighbour and way. But there are some exceptions. We'll start with this word either or either. People pronounce it different ways. Either, either. But it should be I before E, but it isn't. It is E comes first. This breaks the rule. This goes against the rule. It's E, then I. The same with neither. N. The number 8. The number 8. And an exception with the letter C. Science. It's I before E, but except after C. So this breaks that rule. It's I, then E. Ancient. ancient. There's a C and the I and the E after the C. This breaks the rule. This goes against the rule. Weird, weird, E, then I. This breaks the rule. It is not I before E. And we have protein, height, caffeine, C's. All of these break the rule. These go against the rule. It's E before I in these words. There are other words that break the rule as well, but generally it is I before E, except after C, unless pronounced A, like in neighbour or way. The next rule I am going to talk about is the silent E. In some words, if you put an E at the end of the word, it changes the meaning and it makes the first vowel sound long. So it changes A to A. It changes E to E. It would change I to I. It would change O to O. And O to U. So the word rat, rat is a short A sound, A, rat. But if you add E, it changes the word to rate and it's a long A sound, rate. So without the E, it's rat and rate. This is rip, rip, with a short I sound, I, rip. You add an E at the end, it changes rip to ripe, a long I sound, I, ripe, yeah? Ripe. Con, a short O sound, O, con. Add an E to the end, it becomes cone. It becomes cone, a long O sound, O, cone. Tub, yeah? Tub, a short U sound, O, tub. You add an E to the end and it becomes tube. Tube, a long U sound, U, tube. But there are some exceptions to this rule. Words such as have, have, it's not pronounced have, it's have. Where, okay? Where the E is hardly pronounced. Where. Give, give, not give, but give. Gone, gone. You may have noticed that these words, if you remove the final E, they do not spell a word. These are not words in English. So words that already have an E at the end and do not make another word if you remove it are often pronounced with the short version. A, e, I, o, u. There is another another rule as well. So I call it the November rule. If a word with a final E, like have, if the final E here, if the letter before the final E is a V, an R, an N or an M, then it is probably pronounced with the short sound gone, have. An N, V, M, R just before the final E. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section, and I will make another video talking about more rules with spelling and pronunciation in English. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.